Hello, welcome to the sound training videos. In this video session, we'll be looking at how to install Oracle 12c database on a Linux platform. Let's have fun. Oracle 12c has been with us for some time now, and it would be nice to know how to install Oracle 12c on Linux. In this regard, the software that we'll need for this simulation is the operating system Oracle Linux, VMware or VirtualBox, and then the Oracle 12c Release 1. To begin with, we need to install the operating system, and I'll take you through that, and also set certain configuration and prepare the environment for the installation of Oracle. So if you launch your VirtualBox, in my simulation I'll be using VirtualBox. So if you launch your VirtualBox, you go to New, you choose a name for your virtual OS, Oracle Linux 6.1.2.1, and this version is Oracle 64-bit. So I click next, I choose the memory size 2 gig, next, I create a virtual hard disk, click next, I choose the default parameters, I choose the size of this virtual hard disk, 30 gig. Normally I will store this virtual hard disk at this location. I click create. So this is the first part. Of the setting configuration for our operating system. We now select it and then go to settings. We go to advanced, we change this option to bidirectional, the shared clipboard, and then the drag and drop also to bidirectional. Go to system, you change the boot order for the operating system, and then you go to the storage, you choose the CD, and then at this small triangle you choose the location of your operating system. So Oracle Linux 6.6, and then you navigate to the network. Okay, so I maintain the default, I use a NAT, and I click OK. So our virtual machine, virtual operating system configuration has been completed, and we are ready to power it on. So I click the start, and then we are prompted to choose an option. So I choose the install or upgrade existing system. Okay, at this point I choose to skip because I trust my image. I click next, I choose the language for the OS, and then the keyboard layout, and then over here in the production environment you can choose to parameterize or configure your storage device, but for the purpose of this simulation I'm just going to go with the default. So I click next, I discard all data on this bits, and then I choose my host name for this operating system. So for OL6.1.2.1, I configure the network adapter, edit, connect automatically, IP version 4, manual, and then I add. I use 192.168.10.10. And then a net max of 255.255.255.0. I apply and I close. And I click next. I choose the time zone. I click next. So at this page, we are asked to set a root password. And then we click next. It's a weak password, but I continue anyways. So you can also modify your partition layout, but for the purpose of the simulation, I'll choose the first option, use all space, and click next. I write the changes to Dix, and then the second part of the installation, you are required to configure or customize the server based on what you are going to use the server for. This server is going to be used for an Oracle installation. So I go to customize now and I click next. Under base system, I check compatibility libraries. Then I scroll down, networking tools. Then I go to servers. I add server administration tool. I go to web, database, system, virtualization to desktop. I choose the GNOME desktop platform, font, general purpose, desktop graphical, administration tools, input methods, legacy X Windows system compatibility, then the X Windows system. I go to applications and choose internet browser, development. I choose all these options with the exception of Eclipse, and then I just click next. So after customizing the various options for this operating system, we are now ready to go. So you see from the screen that based on the various options that we customize, the packages for those options will be installed. Okay, so you can see that our Oracle Linux 7 installation is complete. So we reboot. Okay, so we get to the welcome screen and we click forward. We agree to the license information. We click forward. To register at a later time, so we click forward. No thanks, I'll connect later. And then click forward. At this page, you don't create a user, so we just click forward. Then click yes. We set up that user later. And then we click forward. We uncheck the key dump and we click finish. Yes. So to reboot for some of the selections to take effect. So our Linux installation is complete. So we can log in for the first time using root and then the password that you set during the installation procedure. So at this point, it gives you a prompt that you are logging as a super user. So do not show me this again, and I click close. My system is up. The installation of the operating system is now completed. But following this, we will have to do one or two configurations. In most production environments where right now people are adhering more to the virtualization, you have to install the virtual tools, or if you are using VirtualBox, you install the guest addition. But before that, I would like us to go ahead and do some small configuration by disabling the firewall. So to disable the firewall, we stop the service responsible for the firewall if tables. Stop. You can check the status. See that the firewall is running, so you can stop it. If tables. Stop. And then if 6 tables. Stop. I'll clear the screen at this point. So if you check the status again for your firewall, the firewall is not running. But we have to disable this service from starting automatically at reboot. So we use the utility chconfig if tables off, and the chconfig if 6 tables off. We will then disable the enforcement policy, in which you can find that in etc. All configuration files are found in this directory. So Linux config, and then we change Linux to disable. So I can now save this. At this point, there are certain assumptions that I'm assuming that you have Linux background. And then we can now proceed to install our guest additions. Or quickly, before that, also we can. So this is our host name. Check the host name of our machine. And this is the host name. And then we have to map the IP address of this system to the host name. So we can check to confirm, verify. So you can see it hasn't been mapped. Host name lookup failure. So we map the IP address. This is the IP address we assigned during the installation. So we navigate, we go to the host file, and then append the IP 192.168.10.10. The host name of the machine. Local domain. So I can now see this change. So if I now check to see if it has been mapped, playing the screen one more time, so that you have the IP address displayed on your screen. So we can now proceed to install the guest additions. Go to device and set guest addition CD image. You see that it's mounted on the desktop. Okay, so I'll prefer to do this manually, so I click cancel. And then change directory to the image, if I display the content, you need to run this script. So sh and then enter. So this should install the guest addition for your VirtualBox. If this guest addition you have certain capabilities where you can maximize the screen. You can also move the cursor in and out of the operating system of the VirtualBox. So the installation for the guest addition has been completed. So we can now log out and re-log in to load profile. I log in as root, enter my password, and this completes the installation and the configuration necessary for you to start with the Oracle 12c installation on Linux. Second part of the session, we will look at how to now we'll begin with the installation of Oracle on Linux. Now we prepare the Linux operating system, the environment, Oracle installation. So we will have to install the packages necessary for Oracle 12c database. In doing that, we will have to configure the Yum repository where we'll be installing the Oracle packages from. Now you see on my screen, I have prepared a script for the installation procedures, which I'm using in this video, and I'll make this available for your practice. So for the second part, we configure the Yum repository and we create according to the document step 2. So we'll create a directory and then we mount. So we should cd, make sure our image is inserted, in other words mounted on the Linux operating system. Then we mount the DVD to the directory that has been created. So it's mounted. Then for the Yum configuration, 3 packages are needed. We need to make sure these packages are installed. So I can copy. We need to install the Delta RPM package. Delta RPM package. So RPM ISO1 packages. Delta RPM, and install this package. And then we go ahead and install a second package also needed for the Yum configuration, Python Delta RPM. And then we install the last package, a create repo package needed for creating the Yum repository. So at this point, our packages have been installed successfully. So we change the directory to ISOs, and then I'll clear my screen at this point. Control F clears the screen. I create the repository using the create repo command from the package that we created, -J 1 server repo data, and press press enter. So this will take some few seconds to, at this point, the repository has been created, as you can see on your screen. So the next thing we'll have to do is to create a file called isos.repo with this content, where you specify the local repository directory for all the packages. At this point, we need to create a file, isos.repo, to have this content specifying the directory for the packages. So I'll use the cat command to write into the file. So I'll just copy, I'll clear the screen and paste. So I should now have the file created, isos.repo, with the following content. Then at this point, yum clean all to clean the repository. Okay, so cleaning up everything. So everything. So after creating the file with the content, we execute the yum clean all command to clean and refresh the repository. We can then proceed to install our packages. So we'll run the command to install the first package needed for the Oracle installation. So yum -y install by utils, and asterisk. So you can see on your screen the installation. Oops, we have an error. Okay, another result. Okay, yum clean all. Okay, if you encounter this error, you just need to do one or two things. You can see on your screen with the yum clean all to clean the repository is cleaning this repository instead of what we created in our simulation. So I'll clear the screen at this point. We'll navigate yum.repos.d, and let's display the content of, okay, so this is a repository that was cleaning instead of what we created. So we'll just rename this so that it doesn't see this repository. We'll name this back. Then yum clean, or I hope this will fix the issue. Okay, so cleaning repos isos, so it should be fine now. So we try to install the first package, utils, clear the screen. Okay, it tells you that it's already installed, the latest version. Okay, so we are good to go. So with my repository configured, I will then run the installation of all the packages. So I copy and paste. As I've said, I'll make the file available online. And then you can see the installation process. It's executing on your screen. So the purpose of using the YUM for the installation of your packages is that in the issues of dependencies, the YUM utility enables you to resolve those dependencies by installing those various dependencies necessary for a specific package that you are installing. So you can see our packages and the dependencies are being resolved. So we are left with the last package to install. Press enter. And the package has been installed successfully. Okay. So the next task we need to do is to now go ahead with the kernel configuration. I'll bring that up. With the kernel configuration, and this configuration is based on the Oracle documentation. So we just write, I'll clear the screen. We write these configuration parameters to the sysctl.conf file found in the etc directory. So I'll just copy using the cat command to write. I'll copy this and paste on my screen. And then I use the sysctl utility to reload the kernel configuration to use these new settings that we've added. We then go ahead and write to the limits.conf file in the etc security directory. So I copy and paste. And then the next thing, we need to append the 90 nproc.conf file. We'll change this value to 1638. So this. And all these settings are from the Oracle official documentation. So I'll clear the screen. So I'll use vi etc security limit.d and then change this value to 1638. So I use x to delete, insert 16384. And then I save the changes. So the next thing I will have to do is now create the group necessary for the Oracle installation. So I'll create this group and then assign a default and assign a user-defined group ID to it. So I need oinstall, DBA, and OPA groups created. So I copy and paste, and the groups will be created. I then go ahead and create the Oracle user and assign the primary group oinstall, and then the secondary groups DBA and OPA to the user. So this is the user Oracle has been created. You can check your pass.wd file for the list of users created. Then we proceed to create the software installation folders. So this U01 app Oracle will be our Oracle base directory, Oracle database instance, and then from the base directory products, and this version will be the Oracle home directory. So I create this directory using the mkdir and paste on the screen, and the directory is created. So at this point, we need to change from this directory. You will realize that the root user is the owner of this directory, so we will have to change the owner of the directory using the chown command. Using the chown command, so we have to change the owner of this directory using the chown command. So I copy and paste, and then I assign the appropriate permission using the chmod command. And then we are done with that step. So I can clear the screen. So the next thing we now have to do is to set the Oracle user profile. So in order to do that, we have to change the password, or probably set the password for the Oracle user. So assign a password, and then I switch the user to Oracle. So now that I've switched the user to Oracle, you can see on your screen the user has been switched to Oracle. I can now write this Oracle environment settings. Let me label it for Oracle environment settings to the bash profile of the Oracle user. So let me take a time to just go through these settings with you. So at this point, we specify the temporary directory, okay, here, and then we assign the Oracle. We use a variable to hold the host name of the operating system, okay, and then the unique name. I'm using ORCL, Oracle seed ORCL, and then we specify the Oracle base directory. All these settings should be done under the bash profile of the Oracle user. We are not using ASM or grid, so we can silence the grid home. So I copy from the cat command and write the changes to the file. So you can use the cat command to verify that the content has been written. And then we amend the global profile, okay, etc profile with these settings. But take note, we have switched our environment to Oracle user. So all we need to do is to switch back to the root user, because it's only root that has access to the etc directory. So I will exit, and then it brings me to the root user. I write to the profile. So at this point, we have completed the various kernel configuration and environment settings necessary for a smooth running of the Oracle database software. So you can reboot at this point, or preferably you can log out and then log in as the Oracle user. So at this point, we need to now copy the 12c database software onto our server. So I have mine right here. You can download this from the Oracle site. Then I copy this to the operating system. So it will take some few minutes to finish copying. At this point, the copying is done. Well, we cannot see it on our desktop. If it happens that you cannot find it on the desktop, you need to go and check in the VirtualBox directory. It should be there. So change home Oracle document. VirtualBox. Okay, so we have the two files in this directory. So we move it to the desktop. So we now have it on the desktop. So we change the directory to the home directory and change the directory to the desktop. So we have our two files. So we now need to unzip the first zip file, one of two, and it will create a database folder on the desktop and extract all the files into this directory. You can see on the screen to take some few minutes to complete the extraction. So the extraction for the first zip file is completed. So we extract the second zip file. And to extract into the same database directly. At this point, we can then now navigate to the database folder. And then run the run installer script. So we now have our window, our GUI for the Oracle 12c database. So click next. Yes. Skip software update. And then for the installation option, I will use install database software only. We'll configure the database later. So I click next. Single install database installation. Next. Next. Enterprise edition. Here you choose the edition that you want to install. Click next. Then next. 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 So all the checks completed successfully. So we can now proceed and install the Oracle database software. Click install. So you see the installation process is now in progress. Okay. So the installation is about to complete, but we need to run some configuration script as root. So you open a new terminal and then you switch as root and then run the scripts. So you run the second script also. And that's enter. Okay. So after completion of the running of the script, you click OK, and the installation of your Oracle database has been successfully installed. So you can now close the window. So we have our database software successfully installed on our Linux box. But you should bear in mind, we've not configured the database, so we'll not be able to connect to any database. So we can from here now run DBCA, then configure the database. So to do that, we use the DBCA utility to configure the database. So you run the DBCA utility. It just takes some few seconds to load the configuration wizard. So we have the configuration assistant wizard. We choose the create database option and we click next. We choose advanced mode. We have two options. You can use database with the default configurations, or you go to advanced mode and specify the configurations that you want. So for the template, we use the general purpose of transaction and click next. The global database name. And this is one of the new features of the Oracle 12c. It has a contained database. I will not be using this option, so we click next. Configure enterprise manager, so we click next. Use the same password, and then we click next. For the listener selection, we are going to use the listener that we created during the database software. So we just click next, and then the storage, we will not be using FRA. We click next. We can enable the sample schemas for our practice purposes, and then we click next. These are the various options that you can use. So we click next, and then next to create our database. So we can now click the finish, and the database creation process will begin. So you can see on the screen the installation is complete, and you have your Enterprise Manager URL here. So we can then exit and then close the window. So our database has been configured, so we can now log in to the database. So this brings us to the end of the training session of how to install Oracle 12c database software and configure its database on a Linux platform. Thank you for watching this video.